Mr. Carter was a quiet man, a retired teacher. He spent his days tending to a small community garden behind his home. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but everyone knew how much that garden meant to him. It wasn't just flowers, it was a safe place for neighborhood kids to learn, for neighbors to gather, and for him to heal after losing his wife. But the HOA president, Karen, saw it differently. She called it an eyesore. She claimed the garden violated community rules. And when residents defended Carter, Karen doubled down, issuing fines, sending letters, even threatening foreclosure. Finally, Carter had no choice but to take the HOA to court. The hearing was packed. Neighbors filled the benches, whispering nervously. Karen strutted in with her lawyer, smiling smugly, as if the case was already won. Carter sat quietly, holding a small folder of papers, his hands trembling but his eyes steady. The judge began, reading through the HOA's evidence. Pictures of the garden, citations, rules. Karen leaned back in her chair, grinning as if justice was on her side. Then came the ruling. Based on the documents presented, the HOA appears to be within its rights. Karen smiled wider, glancing at Carter with triumph. She whispered loudly, "Told you so!" The room grew heavy with disappointment. Neighbors lowered their heads, thinking all was lost. But then, the judge paused. He looked at Carter. "Mr. Carter, do you have anything further?" Carter stood. His voice was soft but firm. "Yes. Your Honor, I believe you haven't seen the second folder." The courtroom went silent. Carter handed it to the bailiff, who placed it before the judge. Karen's smirk froze. The judge opened the folder. Inside were original community bylaws, dated from the very founding of the neighborhood, long before Karen became president, and in clear, unmistakable wording. The rules allowed community gardens for educational or healing purposes. The judge's expression hardened. He read it aloud. Gasps echoed through the room. Carter's garden wasn't a violation, it was protected. Karen's face drained of color. She tried to protest, but the judge cut her off. "Mrs. Karen, this court does not take kindly to selective enforcement and harassment of residents. Not only is Mr. Carter's garden permitted, but your actions may have crossed into abuse of power." Neighbors who had been quiet moments before broke into applause. Some even wiped tears. Carter stood there, humbled. As the judge turned to him, "Your garden stands." "Mr. Carter, case dismissed." Karen slumped into her chair, eyes wide, as her victory crumbled in front of everyone. That smile from moments ago? Gone. And Carter? He walked out with his neighbors beside him. His late wife's favorite flower tucked gently in his hand, finally at peace. "So, what's the lesson? Sometimes justice doesn't come in the first folder, it comes in the second."